Oh my gosh. This is the greatest anime I've ever seen in my life. This series is really just something else. I can honestly say I never expected to enjoy this series as much as I did. Let alone that it would affect me as much as it has. This is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one of the most brilliant and well-written series I've ever seen. The plot is so well done. The characters really get you to feel for them. And overall it will just leave you feeling amazed with just how well everything is done in this series. This series will really bring out some emotion in you, and that is the mark of a well-written series. Honestly, I'm surprised at just how much emotion it brought out in me.
Aw, you had a little cry about it, did ya?
Quite the opposite, actually.
What, you sucked water in through your eyes?
The thing that's really amazing with just how emotional this series is the fact that it catches you off guard with how emotional it's making you feel. When I myself got emotional at the events that were happening to these characters, I was honestly surprised because I didn't even realise I felt connected to them. It's just that good of a series that it makes you feel connected to the characters without even realising it. Forget everything that Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura have led you to believe about magical girl anime when watching this series. This series redefines what it means to do a magical girl genre and really sets a new standard as to what to expect from these kinds of shows. While it's not the first series to try and tell a dark magical girl story, this one has done it really well, and as I said, it sets a new standard for it. Even if you're not a magical girl fan, and hey, I'm not either,
Liar!
I think you'll still find this series highly entertaining. It's true that you can find a great story in any genre, and this series is really proof of that. It is a really dark series, but it's that good kind of dark. The kind of dark that really lets you engage with the characters and hope that something will happen to get them out of these dark times they're going through. There's a lot of themes to this story, some of which I see a lot of the fans debating over as to whether they're present or not. In a friendly manner, of course. Mostly. But I think the fact that people can debate over whether a theme is present or not in the story is just another testament to just the amazing writing of this series, because it means that everybody got something different out of the story. I don't think that anybody is more right than another in what they say. It just means that everybody got something unique that they personally enjoyed about the story. Some of the themes this series gets into are surprisingly deep and meaningful. I could seriously compare this series to The Dark Knight.
You didn't seriously just say that, did you?
Yeah, I did.
You're comparing this series to The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You're comparing Madoka Magica to The Dark Knight.
That's exactly what I did.
You're comparing a magical girl series to the greatest Batman film ever made.
Yeah, I'm as surprised as you, Emma, but I can actually draw comparisons between the two.
Oh please, do tell. This should be good.
Well, I'm not saying by any means that the two of them are identical, far from it. What I'm saying is that their plots share similar themes. For example, they both explore the darker side of being a hero and the sacrifices one must make in order to be a hero. They both also ask the question of what it actually means to be a hero and what you have to do as one. Heck, even the point of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain is explored in Madoka Magica. Once again, I'm not by any means saying that the two of them are identical, I'm just saying that they explore similar themes, that's all. It actually makes me wonder if that film was part of the inspiration behind this anime. I mean, it's perfectly plausible. But those are just a few of the themes that are present in Madoka, and I'm just giving them as examples of just how deep this series can get. And as I said, you might find some themes in the plot that other people haven't, so again, there's something there for everybody. The plot can be as deep as you want to look into it, if that makes any sort of sense.
Nothing you say makes sense to me anymore.
I honestly think this series is just absolutely spectacular, and I honestly do recommend giving it a watch. Just don't expect any Sailor Moon or Cardcaptor Sakura stuff in here. Once in a blue moon, an anime comes around that completely redefines a genre and how the rules of that genre work, and Madoka Magica is one of those anime. Heck, redefining and changing how things work is one of the themes that's present in the story, which again just shows you how deep this plot really is. I could seriously go on and on and on about all the themes that were present in the plot and just how deep all of them run, but quite frankly, we'd be here all night. Heck, if I were to talk about all of them, we'd probably be here for the next 3 weeks. Just go and watch the series and see what you discover for yourself. I suppose a lot of you have been waiting to hear what I have to say on the characters, and I know there's one character in particular who everybody is waiting to hear what I have to say on them. But before we get around to that character, let's start with the leading lady herself, Madoka. Madoka is simply a spectacular protagonist. She has to be one of the most well-written characters ever. She's definitely one of the strongest characters I've ever seen. When you consider all the crap that goes on around her, and all the crap that she herself goes through, the fact that she's still able to smile by the end of it, it really is a mark of true strength. She may be small, but Madoka probably has one of the biggest hearts there ever has been. I actually felt so sorry for her because of the things she had to experience in this series. I actually wanted to give her a hug when I saw some of the simply horrific things she had to experience. What I do particularly like is how she's not centre stage for a lot of these events. Rather, she watches them take place. I like this because it really helps you to connect with how she's feeling just watching all of these events play out. Madoka is so awesome that Cloud even got her name tattooed on his back.
Seriously?
Yeah, I did.
How are you going to explain to Tifa why you have a 14-year-old girl's name tattooed on your back?
Well, oh darn. I guess I didn't think that one through. But anyway, I simply adored Madoka and thought she was a brilliantly written character. You'll find it impossible not to love Madoka when you watch this series. She's not a wimp or a coward like a lot of characters in the same archetype are. Sure, she does get afraid and upset by the events that are going on around her, but hey, who wouldn't be? But she's still willing to press on through it all and try to help her friends despite how afraid she's feeling. And that is a true mark of bravery. And it really shows just how strong of a character Madoka really is. Bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's the ability to take action despite fear's presence, and Madoka is proof of that. She's a strong, admirable, loyal, noble, brave, kind, loving, and just simply wonderful character. And I personally really liked her. Now onto Homura. Well, it's difficult to say what I think about her without going into spoilers. Let's just say that all the plot twists about her just make her an absolutely great character. She's a compassionately cold character who's done to absolute perfection. As the series goes on, you really begin to connect with her and understand why she is the way she is. It really does a great job in making you wary of her at first, but gradually warming up to her. Her origin episode is one of the best written episodes in the entire series, and I really do wish I could discuss it, but sadly I can't due to spoilers. I personally could really relate to Homura and why she was doing what she did. I honestly really understand how you feel, Homura. I think we all could, Kay.
Wait, I understand how you, Cloud, and heck, even Tamaki could. But how does Kay relate to Homura?
Out of all of us, Kay's probably the one who relates to her most.
But how?
Chrono, you say too much. Anyway, it's difficult to discuss Homura without going into spoilers, but needless to say, I thought she was a very, very well-written character, and I really did like her. I know that some of you will be very curious to hear what I have to say on Catherine, but you see...
I've been meaning to tell you this, by the way. You do know her real name's Mami, right?
Emma, he's already decided that her name's Catherine, and nothing you say is ever going to change that.
I know, but still...
Anyway, as I was saying, I know a lot of you will want me to say what I thought on Catherine, but again, the thing is, it's hard to discuss what I thought of her without spoiling anything. Which, unfortunately, some people did for me when I was watching the series. So all I'm going to say is that she was a nice enough character and I wish that we had found out a little bit more about her. That's all. I would also like to ask that people be a bit more careful with their choice of words when commenting on a series I'm watching in the future. Please do keep in mind that I do read every comment. I'm not angry at all, I'm just asking that people be a bit more careful in the future, that's all. Anyway, moving on to the character that it will probably surprise you to find out was probably my favourite character in the whole show. Sayaka. Yeah, I said it, and I'm honestly as surprised as anybody because at first I thought Sayaka was going to turn out to be my least favourite character. But in the end, she ended up being my favourite character in the whole series. The journey that she goes through is really well done and properly gets you to feel for the character as she goes through it. While she may appear to be your generic short-haired girl with an attitude at first, we quickly see that there's a lot more to her character than just that. She's actually a lot more insightful than I thought she'd be, which really surprised me. I felt really sorry for her with all the crap that she goes through. There's a complete turnaround in her character and I really enjoyed seeing the trials and tribulations that she goes through. It all made me feel really sorry for her. I mean, all she ever wanted to do was help people. She was never selfish and look at the price she pays for it. While we're on the topic of Sayaka, I know a lot of people will want me to mention Kyousuke because I know that a lot of people hate him. Personally though, I don't really understand why so many people hate him. I mean, it's not his fault that Sayaka goes through what she goes through. He didn't make her do anything. It was all by her own free will. A lot of people call him whiny, but again, I don't know why. I mean, you go through an accident that badly cripples you and puts you in the hospital with no guarantee that you'll ever fully recover, and being told that even if you do, you'll never ever be able to do the one thing in life that you truly, truly love ever again, and see how well you take it. I'm really not saying you're at fault for disliking him though, at all. A little bit of empathy is all I'm asking for though. Hitomi, on the other hand, I did hate. I absolutely despise Hitomi. She's a complete and total cow. There's no other way to describe her. I don't want to spoil anything, but I really just ended up hating her and thinking she's a complete and total cow. I really just can't stand you, you cellulite ass piece of crap. Okay, calm down or you know what will happen. Right, sorry. Anyway, that's what I thought of Sayaka and all the characters that are connected to her. Anyway, on to talking about Kyoko. She bothers me, okay? Look, I really can't talk about her, alright? It's too much. Cloud, you talk about her because I really can't do this.
Wait, what's going on? Why does she bother you?
I've really got to get this Madoka tattoo removed. Anyway, Kyoko was another character that grows on ya as the series goes on. She starts out pretty nasty, but as we begin to learn more about her, and she begins to change, well, she grows on ya. She's kinda like me in a way. She's a likeable enough character despite how she comes off at first. One question we've all been wondering though, was she meant to be in love with Sayaka? It seemed at some points like she was. It's not a problem if she was. We're just curious as to whether she was or not, that's all. But anyway, Kyoko was a likeable enough character. Though, I can understand why she bothers Kei. It really shocked me too, the first time I saw her.
Why does she bother Kei so much? It was the same with Misaki in Excel Saga. What is it about them that bugs him so much?
You doing okay? She looks so much like her. Heck, even their names are similar. I know. It shocked us all the first time we saw her. I mean, she looks even more like her than Misaki did. It's just so painful, that's all. Just reminds me of what happened. Of all people, I understand, Kei. It just reminds me how I failed to protect the two people most important to me. There was There's nothing I could do. I screwed up worse than I ever have before. And it's not fair! What did I do to deserve this? What happened before I lost my memory that made me deserve to lose the two people most important? Kay, you haven't lost them. They're still alive, aren't they? You know they are. You'll see them again. How, Chrono? How? You know what happened, and you know there's nothing that can be done about it. So how will I ever see them again? Listen, if there's anything Madoka Magica taught you, it should be to never give up hope. Heck, you should have known that already. I thought she taught you that. Sure, it may seem impossible now, but she and her friends were dedicated to making the impossible happen. And you once were as well. You're right. I'm sorry. It gets to me sometimes, that's all. I know, Kay. I know. It's alright. Yeah. Do the impossible. Break the unbreakable, right? We'll find a way. We always have. I've got a promise to keep after all. If there isn't a way right now, we'll make one happen. Now that's the KHF I know. Come on, let's go back to talking about Madoka Magica before Cloud starts singing Total Eclipse of the Heart to the Aristal again. Turned around, every now and then I get a little bit lonely.
Make him stop!
Okay, now that that's sorted out, let's get on to talking about the one character that I know everybody's been waiting to hear me talk about. Kyubey. Oh boy, how do you talk about Kyubey without going into spoilers? I don't even think that's possible. Alright then, let's discuss Kyubey. I absolutely, positively despise Kyubey with an unimaginable passion. Kyubey is a complete and total scumbag. I absolutely hate him. I loathe him. That's all I'm gonna say. If you ever see Kyubey, make sure you respond to him exactly like this. Make a contract with me. Screw you! So anyway, that's what I personally thought on the characters of Madoka Magica. Now on to talking about the dubbing. I know there's been some very mixed reception about Madoka's dub, and I can completely understand why. With a show with a style like this, the voices were done a very specific way in the Japanese version, and given how popular the show is, naturally there's going to be some very high expectations for the English dub, and for some people the dub just didn't live up to those expectations. I will say that I personally did really like the dub. I thought that the voice actors really captured the emotion of the characters well. However, I can perfectly understand if you didn't like this English dub. Soundtracks aren't something I comment on often when it comes to anime, but I do want to make special mention of Madoka's soundtrack because, well, I thought it was pretty fantastic. I know that the opening theme tune annoys a lot of people because they think it's misleading. However, I think that the lyrics of the song perfectly match with the show. It's the melody that's misleading. But besides that, the background music also set the tone for each situation really well, and there were just some simply great tracks in there. But yeah, that's what I thought of Madoka Magica. I thought it was a really well done series, and I honestly can't recommend it enough. My only warning would be to forget everything you thought you knew about the Magical Girl anime when watching this series. If you can get past that, you're in for a real treat of a series with a very deep and meaningful plot and surprisingly complex characters.
Kay, are you alright?
Yeah. Takia again. Yeah. He's getting stronger. And closer. I know. I can feel his darkness too. His rage and hatred. They pulsate so strongly. He's probably going to come after me soon. But there's something else as well. A darkness besides his. Is it them? Quite possibly, but I'm not too sure.
Wait, what are you talking about?
A change is coming. I can feel it. Well, whatever it is, we'll be ready to face it! Oh gosh, I looked directly into the camera's backlight and now I'm seeing spots. This series is... I never expected to enjoy this series as much as I did, but... Oh, for crying out loud, cat! The cat wants to be let in. You did that on purpose. You did that on purpose. Now you look at the camera, Lily, and you apologise to all these people for interrupting the filming. You apologise. Like a good girl. I'm sorry. This is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one of the most brilliant and well-written, I'm turning into Jonathan Ross. This is beyond a shadow of the plot is so well done. The characters are... or something. It's just that good of a series that it makes you feel connected to the characters. Forget everything Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura have led you to believe about the magical girl genre when watching this series. This series redefines There's so many themes to the story, a lot of which I see... There's so many themes to the story. Some I see a lot of defans. For example, they both explore the darker side of being a hero, and once in a blue moon, Madoka is simply a spectacular protagonist. She... What did I do to deserve this? What happened before I lost my memory? Why can't I get this line?